This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com. Let's keep rolling here. Let's talk about the Rumble match itself. We're not closing the show with the Rumble. We're closing with the championship. Man, there's a lot of interesting stuff happening in this Rumble. And I got to tell you, I didn't remember half of the participants that were sort of surprises ever even being in a Rumble until I watched it back. But we got Hunter Hearst Helmsley coming in number 1. Henry O'Godwin comes in number 2. Backlund 3. Jerry Lawler comes in number 4. Lawler stays a long time too, 36 minutes and 2 seconds. It feels like a lot of times Lawler's in-ring stuff was almost dismissed once his feud with Brett was over, at least in my opinion. But he's here for over half an hour. Were you guys thinking about maybe doing something different, or was just, you know, it is what it is. We know he can do it. So go have fun.
Well, he wasn't in it the whole time either. And he was able to hide under the ring, and it was a good story that the King was trying to outsmart people and, you know, get in and out and be seen. And I just thought it was a good story for Jerry. And it was a little bit of a let up in the Rumble itself.
It's great let up, but I guess normally when you see somebody do that, like, and again, I know we don't talk about current stuff, but we just saw Randy Orton do something like that in the more recent Rumble, but that usually means, hey, they're going to do something moving up the card. And it feels like he's mostly going to be an announcer after this, but it is really well done.
He's Jerry Lawler.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. I mean, one of the all-time greats on a lot of people's Mount Rushmore. Next up, Bob Holly. He gets in there for 39 minutes and 35 seconds. King Mabel is out next, then Jake Roberts. And then check this one out. Dory Funk Jr. He's in there 10 minutes and 53 seconds. You've often talked about him as being one of your all-time favorites. Is Dory being in this Rumble a Bruce call?
I think I did make the call, as a matter of fact, to Dory. And it was during a time that we would often reach out to some old timers and guys who had never competed. Junior, of course, had competed previously as Hoss Funk in the WWF at the time. But Junior was someone that, why not? He was out there with a little bit of nostalgia, and I got to see my hero in the Royal Rumble.
That's pretty cool. Let's talk about the next person in the ring here. It's Yokozuna. And he's going to go 19 minutes and 14 seconds. Then the 1-2-3 Kid comes out. And then we get a Japanese competitor. And boy, I'm going to butcher his name. Omori? How does this come to be? I don't remember us ever even having a conversation about him being in the Rumble here.
Yeah, I don't think anybody else has ever had a conversation about him being in the Rumble either. I think this was one of those, you know, JJ Dillon during a time that we were, I don't know that we had gotten to the point of Tenryu's company yet, but JJ, you know, often working with Sato and trying to work with different folks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And/or for all I know, it also could have been Dory Jr. saying, hey, I've got this guy from All Japan, but, it was, nobody else really remembers. I sure as hell didn't. I was like, what the fuck?
He's only in there for 2 minutes and 48 seconds. Hunter and Jake eliminate him. He had 0 eliminations. Oh, I guess we should mention Dory Funk Jr. also had 0 eliminations, but he's in there nearly 11 minutes, 10 minutes and 53 seconds. After him, it's Savio Vega and then Vader. Vader has 4 eliminations in just 11 minutes, but then 3 in a row that are kind of interesting. Doug Gilbert is 0, eliminations. He's in there just under 3 minutes, but you talk about a Memphis staple, Doug Gilbert. How in the world does he get the nod?
Well, you know, Doug and I were friends. Doug had, the brother of Eddie Gilbert. Doug was, good Lord, obviously much younger at the time. And I had worked with Doug while I was at the Global Wrestling Federation when Eddie was booking there. So it was, hey, man, we were often looking for different names and people. The independent scene, it was a little bit different then. It was promotions in the South, and Doug was working in Tennessee at the time, people go, what the fuck? Doug Gilbert. And I didn't think that Doug would embarrass himself or me or anybody else, and thought it was, why not?
Is this before or after he went way off script on Memphis TV? This has to be before.
Oh,
right?
This was way before. Yes.
Man, that was something else. Okay. So let's keep it going here. Talk about who's next, because we've already touched on them a little bit, but I do think it's worth mentioning again. We get Headhunter number 1 and Headhunter number 2. I guess we're calling them Squatter 1 and Squat Teamer 2, Squat Team. What did you call them, Bruce?
I call them damn headhunters.
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody does. By the way, as we mentioned, they're not in there very long. 171 seconds. One's 24 seconds. Then Owen Hart. Combined. That's like 7 minutes.
2 fucking minutes, man.
Yeah. Owen Hart's in there next.
Get into the seconds that is, because that's in the fucking 3 digits.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Owen Hart goes 20 minutes, 43 seconds. And then Shawn Michaels, he's ultimately going to win, as we know. He's in there 26 minutes total. He has 8 eliminations, which is the most of anyone. Although Hunter is actually the Iron Man and he lasts longer than anyone. Hakushi is next. He's only in there for 153. And then Tatanka. Tatanka. He wrestles his last match for the company on TV, March 19th, 1996. You want to tell us about Tatanka?
I love Tatanka. I thought it was I thought he had a hell of a little run there. And
no. You've teased the story a few times where there was this big discussion about bringing Tatanka back. That was years later.
Oh God!
And you're like, it's a whole story. So not today.
Oh God damn! Yeah, no. That no.
Okay.
Probably not. I don't know if I could ever tell that story, but that was.
Well, just tell him when you get fired again.
No, because it would be. I think that it's the folks that were represented in that story do not represent the people they were representing. If that makes any sense at all.
I understand.
And the Native American people that have worked so hard, and when you look at it, that somebody came over here and basically stole their land and took it from them, as JBL said, with a bag of beads and some pot. It's like, come on, man. And it was a shame, some of the people that we worked with at the time, because that presented themselves as something that they weren't. And that's all. It just I have so much respect. Jerry Briscoe's a Native American, and Gerald is so proud, and it's one of those that you don't want to touch. And it was like, God damn, man, it was craziness. But not during this time. I love Tatanka. I love Tatanka then too.
And now you love Tatanka then, now, forever.
Actually, I did. I saw him recently, gave him a big hug. It hadn't changed a bit.
Next up, a guy who has changed a little bit, Aldo Montoya. How about this? He won't be for long. 1 minute and 52 seconds, 0 eliminations. Then Diesel, Big Daddy Cool, comes in at number 22. He's in for 17:51 with 5 eliminations. Kama is in after him. He's also in for 15.
Wait a minute. How did you know that it was Big Daddy Cool time to come out, Diesel? Because
tell me about
big horn, right?
I love you for that.
It was an opportunity. It was there. I've been trying to figure out a way without doing it, hitting the button, fucking that up again. You know me and technology.
Tell me about Kama. He leaves after this match. I've always thought this is sort of an interesting story. He's taken off television in the fall of 95. And after an appearance here at the 96 Rumble, he's gone. And shortly after leaving, according to the rumor and innuendo, he had a verbal contract, or he verbally agreed to join WCW as the enforcer for the NWO, but then never hears from him again, and then sees, wait a minute, Virgil's there. And it's not too terribly long, and he's back with you guys in 1997. I think the original plan was for him to be Papa Shango, but then they decide we're going to have him join the Nation of Domination. But this is it for him. And in this era, he's working the Supreme Fighting Machine look. And this is also a time when Ultimate Fighting and MMA and no holds barred is like a buzzword. Chat me up about what happened with him and why he was gone after the company, or from the company after this show.
The gimmick, the Supreme Fighting Machine, it just didn't work. I don't know if people didn't believe it. It just didn't click. It didn't work. And, nobody bought it. It just wasn't a good gimmick, in my opinion, for him. And I was prejudiced. And here's the funny thing, man. I never, with the exception, very, very little, I didn't get to work with Papa Shango that much. That Papa Shango run was after I'd left the company. But I was always just amazed at the Papa Shango gimmick. And I thought there was so much more to that, that they could have done with Papa Shango, the gimmick. I would have gone a lot further than they went, just saying. And I just was always intrigued by that gimmick.
Next up, we've got the Ringmaster. That's right. Stone Cold Steve Austin has his first Rumble. Of course, the following year, he's going to set the woods on fire, win the damn thing. But this is his first appearance. Here he's using the Ringmaster. He's got the blonde hair. He's a ring technician. He's a part of $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase's stable. And you even hear Vince McMahon call him Steve Austin, known as the Ringmaster. And Meltzer would say, it was amazing to see the physical difference in Austin compared with just a few weeks ago in ECW. And I'm sure Dave has some inference there. Maybe I shouldn't say I'm sure. It reads like he does. But I think it's understood that A, ECW was using tapes, and B, you're damn right. When you're going to make a big shot on a big pay-per-view for the big company, you're not going out there soft if you can help it. You're going to do everything you can to dial it in, right?
Well, I thought Steve came in great shape and looked tremendous. I don't know what Dave's referring to, maybe in his lifestyle. I don't know.
No, he's saying the same thing you are. He's just saying he didn't look that way. Anyway, Barry Horowitz is out next. That's where we are in the WWE here. Barry Horowitz is number 25.
Barry was fucking over.
I'm not arguing that. He just beat Skip.
That's right.
Next up is Fatu. And then your boy, Isaac Yankem, DDS. He's in at number 27. Boy, there's some regrettable shit in here. Next up is Marty Jannetty. He's only here for 2 minutes and 35 seconds before the Bulldog dumps him out. Speaking of the Bulldog, he's in next at number 29. And last is Duke the Dumpster Drose. And he's in for 1 minute and 10 seconds. Somebody else I want to mention, King Mabel. He's gone until 1998 after this show. Why was it time for Mabel to go learn a new hold after this show?
I think it was just time. I think that we had done everything at that point that we could do with Mabel. And in addition to that, some of the injuries that were, caused with Mabel being on the other end, that probably hastened that decision a little bit. And yeah, it was just time more than anything.
We haven't talked a lot about the commentary on this show, but the interviewers here are Doc Hendricks and Todd Pettengill. The ring announcer, of course, is Howard Finkel, but on commentary, it's Vince McMahon and Mr. Perfect. How'd you think Perfect did as a companion for Vince?
In the early years, I thought Perfect was great on color commentary. And when we brought Kurt back, I think that, I don't know. I just don't think that Kurt was there, as good as he was in the earlier years doing color. I don't know if it was because, he'd had another run in the ring and now he's back commentary. There were just a lot of factors that were going on, and the Mr. Perfect that had done the commentary originally when he came in the first time, I just thought he was much better at that time.
Let's talk a little bit about Steve Austin again, and then we'll get into the finals of the match. But there's rumor and innuendo out there that Steve Austin was accidentally eliminated. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but he's supposedly accidentally eliminated because he slips on the rope and falls out while he's doing a spot Wi-Fi 2. So he's legitimately out, but he was supposed to be in the final 4. Do you believe that to be the truth?
That could happen. I really don't. I don't remember that specifically, but I could definitely see it happening. Yes, I always liked it when guys would say, "Why the fuck did you get it wasn't your time to get eliminated?" Well, the guy threw me out.
Yeah,
motherfucker. When you're supposed to go out. So I really don't recall. On that one, I don't remember that.
Well, we know the circumstance that happens in 2005 with Cena and Batista, right? But in that instance where someone is accidentally eliminated and it was supposed to be part of something that was in the plans, would there have been panic backstage, or does someone on a headset just send in word to a referee and an IFB and they communicate it to the boys and call an audible, or is it up to the boys?
Yeah, we didn't have IFBs then at that point. It's figured out.
There you go. So here's the finish. Owen Hart, after being eliminated, came back out to attack Shawn Michaels, and at 58:03, Michaels drop kicks, yank him out. At 58:11, Diesel and Kama throw out Duke. And, now we're down to Diesel, Michaels, Kama, and Davey Boy. Michaels is going to clothesline Davey Boy over the top rope at 58:32, followed by Diesel throwing out Kama at 58:45. And then finally, Michaels would super kick Diesel over the top in 58:49. And after the match, they tease that Diesel is going to attack Shawn, but instead they do their high five routine. Meltzer gave it 2.5 stars. So these guys main evented WrestleMania. One's now a good guy. One's about to be a bad guy, certainly showing shades of that. But instead of teasing it, they let the fans know, nope, we're still boys. High five. In hindsight, was that the right play, or should we have let the tension build, do you think?
Oh, we got to the tension. And at that time, when everybody thinks that you're going one way, you go someplace else.
Okay.
And I thought it was a nice little thing because I thought everybody in the arena and at home were thinking, okay, here comes the attack.
So at this point, you already had, I guess that's where I was going. Royal Rumble in your house, WrestleMania. And we know at WrestleMania, Shawn's becoming the new champ. So on the next In Your House, it's going to be Shawn and Diesel. You already had that mapped out here at the Rumble, right?
In our head, yeah.
So it's the click show, as we said. Shawn Michaels has the most eliminations. He has 8.
It's a talent that you have that's over on the show. The
second most eliminations is Diesel. He's got 5. The longest time spent in the Rumble is Hunter Hearst Helmsley, 48:04. Following Shawn's victory, this is the big thing that people still talk about to this day. He starts stripping to the point where it feels like, we're getting kind of low with them britches. And he looks at Vince and eventually pulls him back up. I mean, he's showing the world his pubes here a little bit. This is a little weird. What was your reaction?
You've shown the world your pubes before.
I mean, I think you said Cornette did at a show in Detroit, but I wasn't
show
there.
More than his pubes.
Chat me up. What are you thinking? I assume you're in Gorilla for this show?
Probably, yeah.
When you see Shawn doing his striptease and taking it this far, are you like talking to Vince? Like, what the fuck is he doing?
No, I had there was never anyone that sat there and go, oh my God, he's going to expose himself. He's going to take it as far as he can go and then tease it.
I guess my question is, if he's going to be your top guy and your baby face, this just makes guys hate him, right? I mean, I know the girls love him. I'm not arguing that, but I mean, come on, man. This is how guys hate him, right?
You liked him.
No, I wasn't even watching wrestling here. Stupid ass Stan, who helps us with research sometimes, he loved him.
Well, there you go.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.